Hello and welcome back to another Heroes of Might and Magic 3, the board game episode. This time I brought you something special. So even though we are going to play on impossible difficulty, this will not be a random map. As a matter of fact, this will be a map I have created quite some time ago called Rebellion on Thin Ice. The entire storyline is written by me, and there are many different decisions which are actually having an impact on the final outcome. And this is a story about two opposing enemies, Tower, ruled by Solmyr, and the dungeon overlord Synce is opposing and leading a rebellion against the Tower Solmyr kingdom. We are going to play on impossible difficulty, but a little bit different rules will apply than usual. We will have the Tower starting faction with the Bronze Dwelling pre-built and the Citadel. We are going to have 10 gold, 0 building material and 0 valuable production in the beginning. But we have 20 gold as a starting resource, 4 building material and 2 valuables. Solmyr will be represented by this model starting from the hometown, and this is his default starting deck. He's a magic hero, so he has 2 magic arrows, chain lightning on level 1, select a unit and another 2 units close to it, allocate 1/1/0 damage starting with the first selected unit, sorcery as the starting ability, 2 spell power and 3 knowledge. So that will be his starting deck. This map allows in certain cases to have another hero also having her own deck. So we will see if we are going to choose that option. As I said, I was constructing this map a long time ago. I'm not necessarily remembering of what we need to do or what decisions will result what outcome, but we'll try to do my best. And there will be many storylines added which I will read out. As you probably know, I'm not a native speaker, but I will try to do my best. And it's also applying to the story I wrote. Maybe there will be some grammar mistakes, but hopefully not that disturbing. And I really hope that at the end, we will manage to get the essence of the story. So let's see the starting deck. For Solmyr, we have Knowledge, Magic Arrow, and Chain Lightning. Now, as you can see, this is the pre-built map, and Synce's town, the dungeon town, is basically here at the end of the map, and right now there is no clear way through the ice. This is because in a specific scenario we need to go and visit this area first. Witch Hut, everything where you see a red coin, those will trigger story points or decisions, and also some of these fields also have some map elements which will trigger story points too. So we need to go towards that direction, which means we will need to take care of level 1 opponent first. Our starting units are few magi, few genies, so 2 silver units on few side. Solmyr is also on level 1, and primary heroes have 4 movement points in every turn, and secondary heroes have 3 movement points. If we enable them, at the moment we cannot hire any creature or any secondary heroes. You can see that's turned down. We also can't really build right now anything. So what we need to do, we need to visit the sawmill, we need to defeat a level 1 opponent, so on impossible difficulty that will be 3 silver units, 3 bronze units, and once we dealt with them, then we can visit the Witch Hut, and that will trigger a story point. But before we do that, as you can see, there are some positive morale tokens representing that things need to be read out, and also the ultimate winning condition of this map is that we need to defeat Synce in 15 turns. So that's why we have that at the very end. If we fail to do so, then we fail the scenario. I've never played this on impossible difficulty. I played it on hard. Well, let's see if we can actually succeed. this scenario. If not, then obviously we can do another attempt later on. But for now, let's try to do it on impossible difficulty. And because we cannot really purchase any units right now, it means these will be our starting units, and these will need to be used and somehow preserved if possible against 3 bronze enemies to get the very first fight successfully got through. Just one more look at our starting deck. So we have Magic Arrow. We don't have any expert effect right now, which means we can use knowledge, but we cannot cast 2 spells. But Chain Lightning is not a spell. This is a specialty card, so we can definitely use this to allocate 2 damages, 1, 1, 0 order whenever our first unit activates. Regarding speed, Genies have 7 speed and Magi have 5. We'll see if we are going to be the quickest on the field. That is depending on the enemies. So let's start, but before we start, let's read the first section, and which is going to provide context. Peace by sacrifice. The frozen land of Castle HighTower was silent as usual. The magnificent icy towers were reaching towards the sky, only held together by ancient light magic. Solmyr always liked standing outside the castle gates, just like his mere mortal subjects, from where he could diligently study his town's buildings and the people who built it. Of course, the people who built it were long gone, but their descendants were not. They were his subjects. They were his people. People of the ancient wizards, heir to the throne of Hightower. A narrow smile ran through Solmyr's face. It only lasted for a moment, yet it was certainly there. The peace he made with the dungeon warlords decades ago brought a golden age for both his and the warlords' people. Hightower was flourishing just like Cold Shadow not so far away. Solmyr felt satisfaction when he remembered how much his lords and lieges criticized him for offering too much to the dungeon warlord Jaegar, and they all turned out to be wrong. Solmyr already knew what they did not back then. Peace can only last long if everyone is willing to sacrifice something kind to their heart. Solmyr sacrificed lands, mines, rivers, and magical places from past ages to secure this peace. And it lasted for decades. But troubling whispers have spread lately. Rumors that the daughter of Jaegar, Sinka, was no longer respecting their mutual agreement. Dark words were spreading in Thieves' Dens that the dungeon warlords were gathering their forces to rebel against their king. Solmyr's face was suddenly shadowed by this menace. I may be naive, but until I investigate this myself, I don't want to believe these rumors. Solmyr knew no peace can last forever, but he was still hoping to be wrong. Otherwise, a long war is ahead of us. He thought bitterly as he prepared his army to lead the investigation. So this is where we start. There are some dark rumors that a rebellion might start soon. And Solmyr visits the sawmill, spending the very first movement point. And because we play on impossible difficulty, or before we do that, sorry, there is a scenario bonus, which I forgot to mention. We can either, let me just check. We can either search the artifact deck or the spell deck, or gain 2+ gold, 2+ building material, and +1 valuable. We are going to use the search the spell deck option and take the discarded top of the discard pile, which is a magic arrow. And now we can go back to where we were and what I wanted to show you, which is an impossible difficulty. We are not going to remove these bonuses because the map design does not specifically tell us. We are just going to follow the instructions and follow the right column of the difficulty level table. So because we are playing on impossible difficulty, we are going to face 3 bronze opponents when it comes to level 1 fight. So let's shuffle the bronze unit deck for the neutral units, and then we are going to face Wraiths, Harpies, and Halberdiers. So no range units, but this is a specifically fast enemy, especially with Harpies, which will activate first. meaning that we will not be able to cast a spell. All of these are bronze units, so they would prefer bronze units to attack, but there are none. Both of the opponents are silver units, so they are going to go for the fastest one, which is going to be the genies. So the turn order is Harpies activate first. There will be no retaliation. They can either go back to their original starting place or not. We're going to roll a die for that. And then genies will activate, and then Wraiths come, and then Magi come, and then Halberdiers. That's the order. And Halberdiers have an effect which can be interesting. Treat allied adjacent units as if they had defense tokens, so basically Wraiths. And Wraiths can remove up to 2 damage from this unit. Regarding our own units, so genies can, instead of attack, discard 3 cards from your deck and take 1 spell discarded this way to your hand. So theoretically we could add 1 more spell, which is a magic arrow. Now we only draw 1 magic arrow from the 2. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So around 60% chance would be that we draw a magic arrow with this, but I'm quite sure we will try to attack first. Only sorcery is and knowledge are the immediate effects, but without casting a spell we can't really use them, which means there is nothing we can do right now. Actually, there is one thing I can do, which is I forgot to take care of this in advance, but no worries. So Harpies will activate first, and then they're going to attack genies with 2 attack, plus 0, 2 plus 0 is 2. The genies have 1 defense, so 1 damage goes in. Harpies ignore retaliation. If I roll +1, they will go back. If I roll -1, they will stay. If I roll 0, then we will re-roll this. This is a -1, so they stay where they were. And now genies will activate, and now we can actually make a decision whether we want to do anything regarding spells. And I think we definitely want to. So first of all, we can use Chain Lightning. None of these units have defense, and because only 2 units stand next to each other, I think it's the only target to target Wraiths. The only thing that makes sense, and then 1 damage would be allocated to Halberdiers, and then 0 damage goes to Harpies. So this is our very first activated card. Now I would like to use a magic arrow powered by sorcery and powered by knowledge, so I can take back the magic arrow to my hand, and I can also draw a card with sorcery. The question is, so that means I can do 2 damage to one of these units. Question how I would like to take care of it. With the genies, I would definitely want to go after the Wraiths, unless I can take them out somehow, because they can regenerate and remove the damage we already allocated, so we need to continue with that. We don't have an expert, so there is no way I could boost, except for if I use another magic arrow, I can take care of the Wraiths. Do I want to do that? One of them would come back to my hand. I think yes. So let's do 3 damage on the Wraiths, which is enough to take care of them. So Wraiths are dealt with. Let's collect the defeated enemy there. As you can see, I also prepared some creatures, dungeon creatures and tower creatures. We're going to use them once a unit is upgraded to pack. Okay, so with the knowledge, I can take back one of the magic arrows, and with the sorcery, I can draw a card. So now I have 1 more magic arrow and spell power. And genies activate. I don't want to extend this fight going much longer, so I'm going to attack the Harpies. Let's roll a die. That's 0, 3 plus 0 is 3 damage, and Harpies get to retaliate. They have 2 attack, -1, so 1 attack versus 1 defense of our genies, no damage goes in. And then Magi's are faster than Halberdiers. Now I think the best decision we can do is to shoot on the harpies. No matter what we roll, we can ignore combat penalties, but no matter what we roll, we take care of the harpies. We do that because these are the fastest units. Maybe it will mean we'll need to extend the fight, but let's see. So halberdiers activate as the last unit, and they do 1 more damage to the genies because 2 + 0 is 2 versus 1 defense, and genies can retaliate. So if I roll a 0 or a +1, I can finish the combat. That's a +1, so 3 + 1 is 4. That would mean 5 damage all in all for the halberdiers, and 4 is enough to take care of them. So we won our very first fight, which means we can actually move up half level here, and we can flag the sawmill, which is producing us 2 building materials instantly, as we are the first one to capture, and sends these to production. The next movement point that we are going to spend will mean to visit the witch hunt, and this is triggering a story point. So we need to read the next section when you enter the witch hut on F10. Question of worthiness. The Archmagi was studying Solmyr's face with slight doubt. Solmyr could never really read anything from the faces of these powerful wizards. But it was not a true mystery this time what the Archmagi was thinking about. We saw no such signs in the fire, the Archmagi claimed. But if you really want to go north, Your Grace, you shall test your army first. What do you mean? Solmyr asked sharply. Decades have passed since the last time you have fought against a dungeon enemy, the Archmagi replied confidently. You either need to practice with your army against a worthy challenge, Your Grace, or you shall spend some time with us to refresh your memory and study the art of using magic in battle. Select one option of reply from these. We have 3 options. One means that we will practice with our army. The second one, spending some time to refresh our memory. And third, we have no time for this, so basically attacking the Archmagi. Our army is still intact. We have 1 spell that costs an impossible difficulty. You can see pack of Trogs, pack of Harpies, pack of Eagle Eyes. So the bronze units on packed side. That's not necessarily an easy fight. So because of that, let's stay here and spend some time here to refresh our memory. So we select option 2. I will spend some time here to refresh my memory, answered Solmyr diligently. Now we scroll down. The Archmagi seemed surprised, but after a few seconds of hesitation, he accepted Solmyr's choice. You shall stay with us for a while, as long as it is necessary. After you lost all of your movement points, so basically we need to lose all of our remaining movement points. That's the price, what we need to pay for this. Very good, Your Grace. You can now unleash the full power of the 2 magic schools you wanted to use. Rely on them wisely. Carefully chosen words sometimes may be worth more than the most powerful spells. So, the result. Look through the ability deck. You may take 2 schools of magic abilities into your might and magic deck. Any 2, but must be different. After you have selected the 2 schools, check the top 4 cards of the spell deck. You may take maximum 1/1 spells belonging to these schools into your hand. If no 2 spells are eligible, you must choose less than 2. Shuffle back the not selected spells to the main spell deck. Okay, so let's see. We could take fire, air, earth, and water. The question, which one we would like to prefer? Well, air I think is a must-have for tower, because with the chain lightning that would be fitting quite well to the scheme. So air magic. And then the next one, let's go with earth magic. And now let's shuffle this. So we selected Earth and Air Magic. And then we can check the top 4 cards of the spell deck and maximum 1/1 spells belonging to this school, so either Earth or Air Magic. Magic Arrow can be selected, by the way, because that belongs to every school. You may take maximum 1/1 spells belonging to these schools into your hand, and these 2 must be added to our deck. Okay, so let's see. Searching for Earth and Air Magic. This is water, fire, water, fire. Okay, not so lucky. If no 2 spells are eligible, you must choose less than 2. And we need to shuffle this back. So we were not really lucky. We cannot take any spells into our hand, but yeah. It is what it is. We at least have these 2 abilities added to our deck, which can help to boost like Magic Arrow or any other spell. Okay, we don't have any more movement points. It says, Witch Hut is now resolved, do not draw any ability cards. So we do not need to follow the regular instructions for Witch Hut. Go to the prison in F10 tile, you need to spend movement points to do this. So in this round, there is nothing else we can do because we've selected the peaceful studying option, which was not as profitable as could have been, but still. So now we go to round 2, and we cannot build, we cannot hire until we resolve the prison. So what we are going to do, we will flag the Witch Hut, and then we spend 1 movement point to get the effect of the treasury. Okay, we can roll 2 resource dice. Okay, 2 valuable looks very good. So now we have 4, which means we can flag this treasure. We visited this, and now we are at the prison. So let's read. We selected option 1, but we selected after you resolve the prison field, you will be able to hire 1 secondary hero there for free. Any further secondary heroes, in case of losing the previous one, can be hired normally from the town. If the prison field is occupied by a hero, spawn the other hero to any available empty field on the F10 file, which is accessible. Okay, so I forgot about this, but that means we will only have 1 normal primary hero. I will not have Josephine would have been the other hero we could get access for, but for that we would have needed to defeat the Magi army when practicing. Because we went with the peaceful resolution, this prison field is a normal field now, which means we will have a level 2 opponent that we need to defeat. So Magic Arrow and Knowledge is in our hand, and level 2 enemy means 2 opponent bronze units and 1 silver unit. And if we resolve it, after that we can hire a secondary hero for free, basically, just like, sorry, yes, so that is stronger than the prison field in normal scenarios. So we can basically spare 10 gold, and after that we can hire creatures. Any further secondary heroes can be hired. Yeah. And because we use the prison tile, it means from the town we will be able to hire creatures normally in case we want, but not until we resolve the prison field. So we cannot buy units right now. We need to wait for that until we take care of the prison field first, because that was in the original description. Actually, Let me just read it again, just to make sure I'm not making any mistakes. You cannot use stone higher action until you resolve the prison event. Okay, okay. Okay, so here we are. Let's defeat the enemy. So 2 bronze and 1 silver. Gnolls and troglodytes are more than welcome, although they have defense, but they are not really massive enemies. And the silver enemy we have Crusaders. Okay, not really a fast army. So genies will be the first to activate. Crusaders are a bit tough because they have 2 defense, which means we'll need to use all of our cards on basic because we don't have expert. So we are using a magic arrow, boosting it with 2 spell power and the knowledge on basic level. We can deal 3 damage to the Crusaders and I can get back the magic arrow to my hand. So 3 damage. And now during any attack, roll 2 attack dice and resolve the higher outcome. That's a special ability of Crusaders. So if I'm not rolling a -1, we can take care of it. So it's 67% chance, but that's a -1. So no damage goes in, and Crusaders can roll 2 attack and resolve the higher outcome, which is a 0. So 3 attack versus 2 defense, that's 2 damage. Okay, that's not ideal, but still okay. Troglodytes will attack genies. They can ignore paralyze effects. So 2 attack versus 1 defense, 3 damage all in all on the genies, which will retaliate with 3 attack. 4 attack, that's enough. 4 versus 1 defense, it's enough to wipe out the troglodytes, which have 3 hit points. And now Magi can shoot on the Crusaders before they activate. So once again, we would need 0 or +1. Okay, so 3 + 0. 3 versus 2. That's 1 damage. That's enough to wipe out the Crusaders before they activate. And now Gnolls are going to attack the genies, which cannot retaliate. That's one more damage, so all in all 4. We need to spend 1 more movement point here to extend this fight. And now genies will need to roll. I can cast a magic arrow just to make sure our genies will not be wiped out. So 1 damage allocated to the Gnolls. And now whatever genies roll, which is actually a -1. Now I'm glad I have done that. That's enough. So 2 versus 1 defense. Gnolls have been defeated. Okay. So far so good. We haven't lost a unit. That was a level 2 fight. We are at 1.5 levels, so that's 2 steps. We get an expert. And we get to add an ability card. I don't want to use first aid. Let's see if there is some spell related. There is, but wisdom is not specifically good. I don't really like that. The cost of buying spells in this town is reduced by 2. When buying spells from your mage guild, do search 3 instead of search 2. The cost of buying spells in this town is reduced by 2. When buying spells from your mage guild, do search 4 instead of search 2. Or offense, +1 attack, then draw a card. Or +2 attack, then draw a card. I go with offense, and this comes to our hand, the only card what we have in our hand. And now we are at level 2. And now we activate our secondary hero. It has to go to an empty field. And secondary hero will have 3 movement points. So we'll need to do this so it will not block off Solmyr. Okay, so 3 movement points. Do we want to capture an artifact and trade? Now we can actually hire and build, so that's no longer a problem. The available artifact is Glyph of Gallantry, gain a morale token or 1 defense, or of course we could search the artifact deck. So I think yes, we go 1, 2 movement points here. We are going to search the artifact deck and hope for a good artifact. Oops, that was actually 3, sorry. Angel Wings look very good. Chosen hero gains +1 movement point and can move through any fields without resolving them. The last visited field must be resolved normally, or draw a card. Recounter's Cloak. During this combat, no hero can use spells with power 0. Or during this combat, no hero can use spells. Remove this card after combat. Go with the Angel Wings. Solmyr spends 2 movement points here. Prison should be resolved too. And our secondary hero goes to prison. And we use Angel Wings on Solmyr. So +1 movement point will move us to the sawmill. Now let's check what can we afford. We have 20 gold. Actually, what we forgot was, sorry, the astrologer's card, because we are on turn 2, but luckily this is the week of the dead silence, so nothing changes. That's great. Sorry about that. We can hire bronze units on their packed side. Gargoyles cost 7, Iron Golems 11, Gremlins 2. We have the Citadel and we have the Bronze Dwelling, so theoretically we could purchase them. All of them would cost 20, which is exactly the gold what we have. That would be a formidable army. But I think we should build the enchanted towers. We can afford. So let's buy silver dwellings. So that's 8 gold, 6 building materials, and 3 valuables. So silver. It should go to this spot. And now we have 12 gold left. I'm not going to hire any creatures right now. We are not going to do any fight right now. So I can postpone this decision for the next turn when I have access to more gold. I could have built a city hall, but I think the silver dwelling was a better option. So let's move to round 3. And there is something we need to read. Read at the beginning of round 3. Disturbing news. Solmyr looked down at the message and read it once again. The words have unfortunately not changed since the first time he read it. So the dungeon warlords are gathering their forces then? The king asked. The question was poetic. But Solmyr learned from his father early that even a stolen question is better than simply hesitance itself. Yes, your grace, The scout reply advised a dark shadow was looming over his face. Many of your loyal bannermen reported it simultaneously. The Warlords are up to something. And they are all led by Synce. Are you certain? Yes, Your Grace, stated the scout nervously. Your lords have now secured every road leading in or out to Cold Shadow. Her army is growing every day, but she cannot move her troops without risking an open rebellion against the crown. If your reports are true, that is what she is planning anyway, murmured Solmyr darkly. We don't have much time. The scout wisely remained silent. Solmyr summoned one of his lieutenants. Notify our bannermen. Every liege who is not already at Cold Shadow shall meet our army at Silverwing. Send the delegation to Synce and order her to visit me in Silverwing and pledge her loyalty once again. She will most probably refuse it, stated the lieutenant. I know, Solmyr agreed, but we need to buy some time, so we could ride north and face her before it's too late, before she is ready. Indeed, disturbing news. That was not an overstatement. So it looks like that Synce is up to something, which is not a surprise since the title of this scenario is Rebellion on Thin Ice, so I believe we are all expecting them. So let's regenerate movement points 4 and 3, and let's produce some resources, 10 gold and 2 building materials. What we forgot to do is, once the prison is actually resolved, we need to rotate this F3 tile. Let me just read it. How? After resolving the prison, F3 tile becomes accessible. You may rotate as you like. Okay. And I guess I rotate it like this. And let's draw 3 more cards. We have Air Magic, Earth Magic, Offense and Knowledge, but we don't have a spell in our hand. And we can hire creatures, we can build anything we like. A Mage Guild would be an option, which I like. 4 gold, 2 building material, and 1 valuable. And we need spells, which could be boosted with Earth or Air Magic. So let's do that. 4 gold, 2 building material, 1 valuable. We need 6 gold back, so we still have 18 gold, and we can buy Mage Guild. When Mage Guild is purchased, then we can do search the spell deck twice. So let's do that. We don't need precision. Magic Arrow or Sorrow. We know Magic Arrow or Sorrow, when a unit is about to activate, skip the unit's activation. That's also a good card, but let's go with Magic Arrow. And do I want to take Sorrow or do one more? Well, since Sorrow is an Earth Magic spell which I can boost, I take it. Okay, so I can't buy spells right now because that's the effect that is triggered when we build the Mage Guild. But I can still hire creatures. I have 18 gold, which means I definitely want to do everything I can. So that means 7 spent on gargoyles to go to the backside, and 11 goes to iron golems, also on backside, and this will remain on the few side. So all of my gold are gone. And now I have packed units. Something like this makes sense to me. And let's get gargoyles and golems, which are packed units. We have 2 range units, but gremlins are not specifically very strong. We purchased everything we could. Let's see in terms of movement points. So secondary hero could make an attempt on level 3 Solmyr, but we're going to skip that. We are still not yet level 3. Our army is not bad, but we can't use our cards and we would have only 1 movement point, so we can't extend that fight. Level 3 on impossible difficulty means 3 silver enemies. Yeah. Give me a sec to reconsider this. Yeah, I'm not going to risk that. So our secondary hero will 1, 2, 3 will end up on the tile on the field where Solmyr is currently standing, and then next turn they can collect these fire camp and treasure. So that's what I'm planning for the secondary hero. For Solmyr, they have 4 movement points, so 1, 2, 3. That will trigger something. I can't recall, and that's good because we shouldn't aware of that anyway. And then that will allow us to reveal one of these tiles, and then we can level 3, once again the same situation, but at least we could use our cards, but we would not have more movement points to go for that fight. So let's see what the Redwood Observatory mean for us, and then we can make a decision whether we go there or there, but we will not have the gold unless, again, something happens here which gives us some gold. So let's spend 1, 2 movement points of Solmyr, and then 1, 2, 3 movement points for the secondary hero, and then 3rd movement points for Solmyr is to visit this Redwood Observatory. Read the next chapter when reaching the Redwood Observatory Tower on tile F3, hashtag F3 actually. Collateral damage. Once Solmyr's army arrived at the Redwood Observatory Tower, he noticed a seriously wounded man nearby. Solmyr recognized the man immediately. He was leading his delegation to Cold Shadow. Choose one option from the following. If you have a Magi in your unit, heal the man for free. You get a positive morale. Redwood Observatory will reveal only 1 connected tile for free. Option B. If you don't have a Magi in your unit, you may hire a healer for 5 gold. Your man is healed and the Redwood Observatory will reveal both connected tiles for free. Well, we don't have gold, so that's out of the option. Option C. If you don't have a Magi in your unit, you may kill the man as he failed his mission. You get a negative morale. Redwood Observatory will reveal only 1 connected tile for free. So let's go with option A. Solmyr ordered his Magi to heal the man as soon as possible. He sent the man to this suicide mission. It is only fair to save him from certain death. And now we get a positive morale. And 1 connected tile can be revealed. This is the closer one. So let's reveal this one. It's F2, hashtag F2. So it has fire camp, trading post, artifact, free experience, half level experience, and gold mine. Looks good. We still don't have gold, so going up will mean we are wasting an opportunity to buy spells. Do we try for this Gampound? I mean, worst case scenario would be that we lose some units and we need to retreat after 1 combat round, and we would be on the same field, just like we are not moving right now, like wasting 1 movement point. So if we can preserve our units, we are not risking much. And we have a positive morale. I think this is a spell power, I think. Not entirely sure. Not sorcery, not our special ability. I think we used already 2 knowledge, so I think this is a spell power. So if we use like morale for that, we can boost. this sorrow could actually mean that we could save our units, and with expert knowledge we could cast 2 spells, like both of these spells we could cast. So yeah, let's try to do that. That's the more fun option anyway. So our last movement point is coming here and facing with 3 silver units. Just let me double check to make sure we're not making any mistakes. Level 3 silver units. As always, oops, let's shuffle this. Nomads are okay. Gorgons are dangerous a bit. Sharpshooters are range units and fast. So yeah, our Magi may be having a problem. But before anything happens, since Sorrow is an immediate card, see that little lightning bolt there, we need 2 spell power to boost this. So I'm using my moral token to draw a card. Okay, spell power. I'm using my expert on knowledge so I can get back the spell to my hand, and my spell limit per turn is increased by 1. So I'm going to use spell power, and I'm going to use earth magic normally to boost this to 2 spell power, take it back to my hand and put it on the sharpshooter so a silver unit can skip its activation. Okay, and now I can still cast a spell. So if sharpshooters skip their activation, that means, or actually, I just realized gargoyles are also 9. But that's fine. I still want to avoid sharpshooters to activate, and I can't wipe them out immediately because they have 6 hit point. So sharpshooters will not activate. Question is, do I want to try to attack them? They can still perform their retaliation because all this has happened before they activate. I could cast a magic arrow, but I think magic arrow should be casted on the Gorgons because they have massive defense. Let's try to visually put this together. Gargoyles can reach sharpshooters. No other units as it stands can. Of course, range units can. And we need to deal 6 damage somehow. Yeah. So with the gargoyles, let's move up to 3 spaces. They are flying units, so they can. And I'm going to use my... Do I want to use my offense here? No, I'm not using my offense right now. I'm going to attack the sharpshooters. This unit ignores any ongoing spell effects. That's not relevant right now. Okay, 2 damage goes in. Sharpshooters retaliate. They can ignore combat penalties. Okay, 3 minus 1 is 2. 1 defense, 1 damage to the gargoyle's hit point. Okay, now sharpshooters skipping their activation, and the next fastest unit is genies. After that, nomads are going to activate. I can cast a magic arrow with 2 spell power. I can boost the magic arrow with earth magic because magic arrow belongs to all schools, and I can boost it with sorrow. So 2 spell power means 3 damage, and I will cast it on the Gorgons. And now the question is, do I want to risk a -1? Because if I attack the Gorgons with the genies, if I roll a -1, Gorgons will retaliate and will not be wiped out. I want to avoid that situation at all costs. So I'm going to use this offense to make sure Gorgons will be wiped out without any question. So whatever I roll now, it's a 0, 3 + 1 is 4. 2 more damage goes into the Gorgons and they are defeated. And now nomads are activated and they must prioritize the closest silver unit because they are also silver, so they are going to go after genies, which is good because they will not be able to wipe out the genies and we need the genies retaliation, so we can somehow finish this fight in one round. There is nothing else I can cast. So nomads activate, they attack genies. 4 versus 1 defense, that's 3 damage goes in, and now genies retaliate. That's just 1 damage, that's not really good. I would really need a normal roll, but never mind. So let's see, all of the enemy has now activated. We need to deal 4 damage to the sharpshooters and they don't have any defense, and 3 damage to the nomads. Nomads can retaliate. So if I'm rolling neutral rolls, I can assign 8 damage versus 1 defense, so that's 7. It's just what we need. With the gremlins, on one hand, I would love to shoot on the nomads because that would mean no range penalty. But the nomads have a defense, whereas sharpshooters do not have, which means if I shoot for the nomads and I roll a -1, gremlins' turn will be wasted. If I do that on the sharpshooters, 1 damage will at least be assigned. So let's see. If I go with the iron golems and shoot on and attack the nomads, they will not be able to wipe us out, so I'm not risking anything there. And after that I can decide how to use my 2 range units. Or I go with the Magi and try to roll a +1 on the sharpshooters, so with everything else I can focus on the nomads. Nomads have defense, so I want to see whether I can wipe them out or not. So yeah, let's go with the golems. And let's attack the nomads. This unit reduces any damage it takes from spells by 2 to minimum 0. That's not applicable. So let's hope for a +1. That's actually a -1. So only 1 damage goes in. Nomads retaliate. No damage. Okay, so let's see. Now we need to roll 4 damage to the sharpshooters and 2 damage to the nomads. Gremlins must shoot at the nomads. But before that, Magi will activate. So the only way we can do this, because of this -1 that we just rolled, if we shoot at the sharpshooters and we roll a +1, we wipe them out. And then gremlins need to shoot on the nomads and it also needs to have a +1. So we have 11% to fight, to win this fight in 1 round. Not really a good likelihood. So Magi shoot on the sharpshooters. That's a +1, okay. there is still an option to do this. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 more damage on the sharpshooters, so they are wiped out. So now we have 33% chance to finish the nomads with the gremlins. If we roll a +1 once again, that would mean 2 more damage allocated to the nomads. Wow! Oh, we are extremely lucky. That's amazing. 2 plus 1 is 3 versus 1 defense. 2 more damage goes in to the nomads. And even though we only had 11% to do this, we managed to finish this fight in 1 round. And we didn't lose any units either. Wow, that was... I didn't have much faith. Now, of course, this all happened because we rolled a -1 on the golems. Without that, our odds would have been much better. But still, let's not ruin the moment. This was beautiful. Okay, so we defeated a level 3 opponent. We can flag this compound. We also get a valuable since we are the first one to capture it. I'm sorry. And that was a level 3 opponent. We were level 2.5. That means 2 more steps. Now our hand limit is 5. And we get to search the ability. Do we want wisdom now? We have the mage guild. We could use wisdom. Mage guild costs once per your turn 5 gold to do search 2. So reduced by 2. For 3 gold we can do search 3. We are early on. Let's do that. Not the best ability, but still. Okay, I can't use it right now, but we can use it in next turn. This is the end of round 3. Actually, there is nothing else we can do. We took care of this. Earth magic is still here. Units are there. I took care of the ability upgrade. I don't have gold. I can't do anything else. So let's move to round 4 and then let's make sure we are going to... Where should I put this so I remember? Let's put it here. So let's read the last in the beginnings. Read the next chapter at the beginning of round 4. If you have accepted the Archmage's challenge and you have Josephine active, read Deus Ex Machina. If you studied the School of Magic, go to the section Shield of Knowledge. Otherwise, go to the section of Angered Allies. So we need to read Shield of Knowledge. Read the next chapter at the beginning of round 4 if you studied the School of Magic in the Witch Hut. Okay, let me read this. Solmyr was following his Magi's request and was hunting for some deer in the woods. He rarely felt so focused. The white stag was drinking from a creek nearby. Solmyr admired its innocence and all the purity it represented. He really did not want to kill it. Ending such an innocent life felt wrong. Nevertheless, it had to be done. As Magi's declared, ancient rituals dictate to sacrifice an innocent soul before marching to the north, and Solmyr must respect those rules to maintain morale within the troops. Alliance between the crown and fate was key for Solmyr to keep his kingdom united, and he certainly preferred to hunt down an animal than any man. Not if I knew anyone so pure, so innocent as this stag, he thought cynically. He placed his golden arrow's nock on the bowstring. The stag was not suspecting any danger, nor Solmyr. Before he could shoot the arrow across the heart of a deer, 2 dark shapes entered his peripheral vision. The shapes moved quickly and with menace. One assassin threw a knife towards Solmyr, the other tried to get behind his back. Solmyr managed to step away from the path of the flying knife, but it was impossible to keep an eye on the other assassin. Suddenly, he remembered his late teachings and cast a magic arrow behind his back. The assassin collapsed dead before he could react. The other attacker, the one who sent the knife towards the king, seemed surprised. Perhaps he did not know at all about Solmyr's powers. The king took advantage of the attacker's hesitance. He summoned a deadly dagger from thin air and sent towards the assassin with haste. The attacker was not quick enough. The dagger crossed right through his heart. A taste of your own medicine, I suppose, Solmyr thought cynically. The king then took a deep breath. These woods were supposed to be protected by his liege, Lord Harn at Silverwing. Perhaps much more was going on lately that the king was aware of. Read the next chapter at the beginning of round 4 if you attack mages in the witch hut. Okay, that's not applicable for us. Alright, so it looks like that Solmyr's liege or vassal, was not really protecting his king. That's interesting. But let's see what the astrologers proclaim after such a after such a treason. At the beginning of next resource round, all players gain +1 valuable. Okay, let's not forget that. All right, so our movement points regenerate to 4 and 3, respectively. Let's shuffle our deck. Do I want to throw away air magic? That's my question, because earth magic as a permanent card can stay here until I want to and can boost magic arrow and sorrow, and we don't have many spells at the moment, but we are planning to use wisdom soon, so for 3 gold we will search the mage guild action, and we may find an air magic card. But do I want to keep this card just for the probability of that? I'm not so sure. Yeah, I'm going to discard this card so I can draw 4, because my hand limit is now 5, and I managed to draw a magic arrow. Okay, so let's see. As we agreed earlier, secondary hero should come here and collect these resources. So let's do that. 1, 2. Let's roll a resource die. 3 gold. Okay. I don't have any gold, so I like that. And then last movement point for the secondary hero is to do the same with the treasure. I really hope it will not be experience. Of course, it's experience. I can't collect that. Only primary hero can. I jinxed it, but it happened in the past. So how many spells do I want to collect? I think for now I'm good with the one on the Mage Guild, so I'm not going to visit this field. By the way, we should flag the Redwood Observatory, which means I can collect 3 gold here, that's 1 movement point. Then I can collect an experience, that would mean we are at level 4, so I can auto-resolve the gold mine. Yeah, that looks good. 1. Let's collect 3 gold. 2. And let me just roll this back. Okay, so now it pushes me to level 4, which means I get to get Solmyr's Chain Lightning specialty at level 4. Discard up to 3 cards from your Might and Magic deck and return 1 of them to your hand. Okay? So that was my second movement. Third movement point to claim the mine. That's 5 gold and pushes it to 15 production. Step 4. And question whether I want to use Angel Wings. I could move the secondary hero closer. That would mean I finish a movement here. Yeah, I think so. Chosen hero gains +1 movement and can move through any fields without resolving them. So, okay. And then I'm using my only expert this round, which I forgot to generate, but I have 1 expert. I'm going to use it on Wisdom. So I'm paying 3 gold and going to do a search for in the Mage Guild. So Fortune, Frost Ring, Magic Arrow, or Lightning Bolt. Okay, so Lightning Bolt with 2 spell power, 4 damage. Frost Ring, 2 spell power, 2 damage, and it can impact 2 different units. Lightning Bolt, I think, is better. So yeah, I'm going to go with Lightning Bolt. Yeah, now I'm a bit sorry for discarding the Air Magic School, but it will come back. It will come back eventually. Okay, there are a bunch of fields in this area which are triggering storylines. So let's just read that to make sure we are not missing anything. This was the F2 hashtag tile. Okay, nothing on this one, but we need to keep an eye on this. I don't think there is anything else we can specifically do. City Hall costs 10 gold for building material. I don't have building material because City Hall could be an option right now, but I cannot afford it, unfortunately. Gold Dwelling, we are not even close. And our different merchant, we cannot. For 2, I can reinforce gremlins, so let's do that. Okay. Okay. I think we are done. So we are going to do turn 5. Before we do that, I need to drink. So just 1 minute. Patience. Thank you. So turn 5. Let's regenerate movement points. 4 on Solmyr. 1 expert. Actually 2 experts now, sorry. I missed that. Level 4. Doesn't make any difference. I mean, we forgot to use it in the previous turn, but no difference. Regarding my hand, we can have 5 cards in our hand. I like those 5 cards. Yeah. Okay. And then let's produce 15 gold. And 2 valuables. And 2 building material. 2 valuable because of the astrologers card. Otherwise we would have got only 1. So I think we need to read something. Read the next chapter when you visit the settlement on F1 tile. Okay, we read that. Read the following chapters when you enter the field of F1 settlement, F1 witch hut, F7 hill fort. You cannot reveal the furthest 4 file near tiles, and the obelisk cannot be visited until you have flagged a settlement. Okay, somewhere here there is a settlement, one of these fields basically. We need to flag it. And only after that we can flag obelisks here, here, and here. There are 2 obelisks. We need to flag both of them. Only after that we can access to this. That's how it works. Okay. So with the secondary hero, do I want to take a spell into my hand right now? Or... yeah, let's postpone the decision. With Solmyr, I spend 1 movement point here and going to search the artifact deck. I don't care about Recanter's Cloak. Let's see what other options we have. Orb of Vulnerability. During this combat, negate all units' special abilities related to spell or 2 spell power. this one gives us gold. Let's go with the gold. So gain 3 gold. We'll do that. And another movement point which I'm going to spend is revealing this. Let's see if we have this settlement here. Yes. Okay. I want to visit that settlement as quickly as possible. Both this witch hut and this settlement triggers something to read. Okay, so secondary hero comes here. And then for 3 gold, I take a spell into my hand in case I need to fight. Which I'm not entirely remembering at this point, but maybe we need to take a fight. And do I go with magic arrow? Let's search the artifact deck. So we have bless and fireball. The selected ground or flying unit ignores the attack die roll, and also it can get attack. Select 2 adjacent spaces, deal damage to unit in these spaces. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, go with fireball. Okay, so Solmyr now visits the settlement. Let's see that. Read the next chapter when you visit the settlement on F1 tile. Question of loyalty. Solmyr looked at the package he received. The rumors were true. Synce approached Lord Harden at Silverwing. Now the head of one of Harden's lieutenants was in front of his eyes. Solmyr was not sure what to think about it. He knew he must be careful. The family of Harrons is one of the most important supporters of the realm since ages, hence Lord Harren's grandfather got Silverwing from Solmyr's great-grandfather as a present for their perpetual service. The Harrons swore an oath to protect the realm at all costs. And now they were hesitant to keep their oath, or perhaps even worse, they could have already joined the dungeon warlords as far as Solmyr knew. Solmyr wasn't sure if Lord Harren was turned, corrupted, or convinced by reasons, but the assassination attempt in his own woods was troublesome to say the least. Solmyr drank a glass of wine as he was assessing his options. He could execute Lord Harren for treason, but there might be a better option after all. Solmyr knew that his realm was on thin ice. The way he treated this situation might define the fate of the entire kingdom. If you resolve the field with Solmyr, which we are actually doing, Solmyr entered the gate of Silverwing with haste. Lord Harren was standing in the center of the inner court, surrounded by his army. "Your Grace," Harren welcomed Solmyr coldly. His face was hidden behind an emotionless mask. "It is time for us to talk, Lord Harren. You can choose from 3 options. Option 1. You wait for Josephine to arrive. Do not resolve this field until Josephine enters the same field. You cannot select this option if Josephine is not active, so we cannot select this one. Option 2. You deal with the situation alone. Okay, now let's see option 3 before we resolve this. You deal with the situation alone and you punish Lord Harren for his treason. So do we want to fight or do we want to convince? Let's fight. We have a good army. You deal with the situation alone and you punish Lord Harren for his treason. Solmyr did not mean to rush the conversation. Your king was almost murdered in your own woods, yet you offer no apology to me? I was shocked by the news, Your Grace, Lord Harren claimed calmly. Just as shocked as I was when I heard you received an offer from Synce? Am I a fool to connect the dots? Lord Harren paused for a while before he answered. I must admit she approached me, but I certainly did not try to kill you, and I did not accept any offer from her. Yet. Solmyr did not ask this but stated, as he finally saw the looming danger clearly. He was indeed a fool who denied the obvious signs up until now. Lord Harren spread his arms. Your great-grandfather gave us Silverwing to protect. How am I supposed to protect it without any help from the crown? He asked quietly. In the past, I asked several times for reinforcements, for better roads, for resources, and all I got in exchange were empty promises and the lack of presence of my king. Solmyr heard enough. Say no more, Lord Hearn. Your grandfather bent his knees to my great-grandfather and swore an oath to protect this land. You have not kept this oath. You committed treason. And the punishment for treason is death. Fair enough, Lord Hearn stated. But this is my home. You only get to kill me if you slaughter every single man of mine first. He quickly turned around and left Solmyr at the court. The king's bodyguards formed a close circle around the king, and they quickly escorted him to safety. Solmyr looked through his men, only a portion of his army, and he really wished he had brought all of his soldiers with him. Okay? Fight against Lord Hearn's army. You cannot use iron golems in this combat. Select the following units from the neutral deck to form the enemy army. Impossible, Gargoyles, Gold Golem, Magi, Genies. If you win, sack the city, flag the settlement, follow the normal instructions for conquered settlements, and as an extra roll 2 resource dice and pick one. Increase your experience level as if you had fought against a level 4 enemy. If you lose, the scenario is over. Okay, so we need to find Gargoyles, Gold Golem, Magi and Genies. And we can't use Iron Golems in this fight. This will be tricky. Okay. Gold Golems. Okay, that's all from the gold pack. Genies. Magi. I think Gargoyles are bronze. Must be bronze. This is on impossible difficulty. Okay. So Magi goes to the range section, Genies, Gargoyles, and Gold Golems. And 9965 actually. And we have a 9, which is the Gargoyles, so we will come first and we can cast whatever we want to cast. Okay, so Genies and Gold Golems. Gold Golems reduce any damage from spells by 2, so they are not really a good target for spells. We don't need to spend movement point to extend scenario fights like this, which must be played through. So we have Lightning Bolt, we have Chain Lightning level 4. Discard up to 3 cards from your Might and Magic deck and return one of them to your hand. So let's do that real quick. Discard up to 3 cards. Okay, 1, 2, 3. With another knowledge, I could cast 3 spells. Sorrow, I could make sure Magi do not activate. But I don't have much spell power in my hand, so let's go with knowledge, actually. So, Chain Lightning. 1, 1, 0. Or actually 1, 1, 0. It's even better. That's not a spell, right? And then Lightning Bolt with Expert Knowledge. Boosted by... I can't boost it with this one. Boosted by Fireball. So it's actually 3 damage. And I can take it back to my hand. So 3 damage. Yeah, let's take care of the Genies. And I can still cast a spell. So the other expert on other knowledge, Lightning Bolt powered by Magic Arrow. Actually, Magic Arrow powered by Lightning Bolt and powered by Earth Magic is 3 damage the same way. And I can take Magic Arrow back to my hand. So that's 3 damage going into the Magi. And now I can cast one more spell, which is 2 more damage with this magic arrow. And it will be the gargoyles. 1, 2, 3. And I will attack the Magi. And whatever I roll, that's 2 more damage. So the Magi are defeated. Now gargoyle, the enemy gargoyles activate. They are attacking my gargoyles. Bronze attacks bronze. They roll 0, so 1 damage goes in and my gargoyles retaliate. 3 attack, +1, 4 versus 1 defense. These gargoyles are also wiped out. Okay, only gold golems remain. Let's see the order. Genies, Magi or Gremlins, and then gold golems. Gold golems will come after genies. They are trying to search for a gold unit, but there is no gold unit in my army. Therefore, they will prioritize genies or Magi, but they can't reach Magi, so genies. Because of that, let's engage. They need to roll a +1 and they can wipe out genies, so I'm just wondering, is this the right tactics? Should I just discard 3 cards from my deck and take a discarded spell this way to your hand? We don't need to spend movement points to extend this fight. Yeah, I should not risk this. So yeah, discard 3 cards from your deck. Let's see if there is any spell. Yes, magic arrow. So I can take it to my hand. I can't cast it, but I can cast it in the next round. And now Magi will activate. And I will shoot on the gold golems. 3 + 0, 2, 1 damage goes in. Now gold golems activate, they attack the genies. 2 versus 1, that's 1 damage. Genies get to retaliate. 3 + 0, 3 versus 2 defense. 2 damage goes in all to gold golems, and now gremlins can shoot. That's nothing. Okay, next round. Gargoyles will activate first. I could cast the magic arrow, but no difference because they can reduce the 2 damage I could actually do. Do I want to draw out their retaliation? I'm just closing in them. But I'm not attacking. Genies. Okay, 3 + 1, 4 versus 2 defense, that's 4 damage all in all. Gold golems retaliate. 4 versus 1, 3 damage goes in. Okay, so now we may have a problem because of this roll. But yeah, Magi will try to kill off gold golems with a +1. No luck. 5 damage on the gold golems. Now gold golems activate and attack the genies. And 3 + 0 is 3 versus 1, so my genies are gone. Wasted 8 gold with this, unfortunately. That was my mistake, but anyway. And now gremlins can shoot. And with a +1, they can wipe out gold golems. Okay, so we lost genies there. Okay, we need to take care of this experience like we fought against the level 4 enemy, so that's half a step here. And we get back the golems. Sack the city, flag the settlement, follow the normal instructions. So the question is, do we want this to be gold production or valuable production? We will need 4 valuables for the gold dwelling. We have 1 at the moment, and then for titans we will need 3. For nuggets we will need 1. So this 1 valuable production plus 1, 2 on the map is 6 until turn 7 if my secondary hero can reach it. 6 would give us an option to hire few titans plus packed nagas for now, and we may reveal additional ways. So I think gold is fine for now. So let's get 5 gold. Let's push this to 20. Let's mark this instead of this. Okay, and I have 1 more movement point left. Just checking. Don't need this. Witch hut, not interested. Okay, now we can reveal tiles and flag obelisks because we have a settlement, so let's reveal this tile. For 1 more movement point. Okay, no obelisk on this one. Something like this looks good. No more movement points I have. So I think the only thing we can do is whether we want to spend on something, because I don't have that 4th. Actually, I don't have building material. I haven't thought about that. Maybe that will be the true problem, like the lack of building materials. Because I will need 9, and I have currently 2, and we'll only have 4. But we can trade if we want. Okay. Let's go to round 6. That's another astrologers round. Proclaim Week of the Explorers. During this round, players do not draw cards at the start of their turn. Instead, each player draws cards up their hand limit, then each of them may discard any number of cards for every 3 cards discarded this way. They can remove 1 sadistic card and replace it with an empowered sadistic card of the same type. Okay. My hand limit is 5. I don't want to discard anything, so not really relevant. 4 movement points on Solmyr. It's regenerated. 3 is back here. And I think instead of dealing with the genie, I will try to buy... Okay, once more, I don't have the building material. I was focusing on the valuable. But building material is the real problem. Secondary here could go back and flag this in 2 turns, but that's such a waste of time. I don't want to do that. Okay, so secondary hero 1, 2 steps collecting a valuable. Third step is coming here. Solmyr. One step. Another valuable. That's a free step. Can't use this because there is nothing in my discard pile. This magic spring allows you to put back 1 card from the top 3 cards of the discard pile. I can't use it. I think I will go for the tree but I need to buy back the genies, which I think I'm going to spend 20 gold, so I will have the packed version of them. Magi cost 11 to upgrade, so all in all 31. Let's see what I have. So 10, 20, 21, 29 gold. Could do Mage Guild, but I would love to have the Wisdom card in my hand to do it in an efficient way. So instead of that, yeah, let's spend 20 gold on upgraded genies. And then let's do the level 4 combat, which is 2 silver, 1 gold. That is doable. And I can extend that fight if I want to. So once again, 2 silver, 1 gold. Let's shuffle this because I had to find those cards. 1 silver, Dendroids and Magi. Hello Magi, my old friend. And 1 gold, which is Trolls. Okay, rather slow but very bulky enemies. I will need to spend those movement points, I think, to extend the fight, but we'll see. Gargoyles are the fastest. I have 2 experts, which I forgot to replenish. I can use expert sorcery, although I don't need to, because the Earth Magic card. So I'm use sorcery plus magic arrow to boost it with 2 spell power and then draw a card, which is a sorrow card, but I can't cast another spell because I didn't have any knowledge in my hand. So that's 3 damage wherever I want to assign, and that will be Dendroids. And then I'm going to block Magi and attack them. Do I attack them? Maybe I won't. Because if I attack them, Magi will retaliate. And yeah, we will need to buy back Gargoyles. So I'm not attacking, I'm just blocking. Sorry, I need the green cube. Next one to activate is Genies. So Genies, discard up to 3 cards from your deck and take a discarded spell to your hand. Do we have a spell there? No, didn't work out. We are going to attack the Dendroids, though. Three versus 2 defense is 1 damage. Dendroids will retaliate. 3 attack. Plus 0, minus 1, 2 damage goes in. Now Trolls trying to find a gold unit, but they can't, so they are going after the Genies. They could remove up to 3 damage from this unit, but there is no damage. 4 versus 1, 3 damage goes in, so it's actually a 5, and now Genies retaliate. 5 damage. Trolls don't have defense. The next fastest unit is Magi. They are going to attack the Gargoyles. Ignore combat penalties, so they don't have the penalty of melee attack. 2 damage versus 1 defense. 2 attack versus 1 defense is 1 damage. And now Gargoyles retaliate. 3 minus 1, 2 damage goes in. And After this unit's attack, the enemy discards a random card or a card with spell power. All of these have. So let's see what will it be. A magic arrow. Okay. So we have 3 units to activate with 5 speed. We need to take care of dendroids, otherwise our genies will have a problem. Dendroids will not retaliate, no matter which unit I choose. I'm just thinking, how should I do this? We definitely need to take 2 damage into the trolls. So first of all, let's see if gremlins can wipe out the trolls. Yes, they can. 2 + 3. Trolls are done. They don't have defense. Okay, now we need to take care of the dendroids. I want to protect my genies at all costs. So first, magi are going to shoot to the dendroids. Shoot at the dendroids. Okay, 3 + 1, 4. 2 defense, 2 damage goes in. They had already had 4 damage, +2, 6. So all of their hit points are gone. And now golems can go for the magi. 1, 2. And 3 + 1, 4. Very lucky roll, or at least not unlucky. That's enough to do the remaining 3 hit point damage to the magi. Okay. Genies were very close to be flipped down, but we survived without the extension of this fight. And now we get full level if we pay 10 gold or 3 valuable. The problem is we don't have 10 gold. First of all, this was a level 4 fight, so now we are up to level 5. And I don't want first aid. Let's see what else we can get. Mysticism or pathfinding. Mysticism, play this card immediately after casting a spell. Instead of discarding the spell card, take it back to your hand, or take it back and every other card back to your hand. So I really like that. Pathfinding, this turn your hero can move through fields with neutral units and enemy heroes, but if they end their movement in one of these fields, combat begins. Your hero can move over the yellow border and block fields, but cannot end movement on them. It's also a good card, but I'm going to ignore for now. So do we want to spend 3 valuable to do the level up? That would mean level 6. That would mean a lot of fights could be auto-resolved. So I take it as an investment and do it. So now I'm at level 6. I'm getting Solmyr's last specialty card. Select a unit and another 2 units closest to it allocate 2/1/1 damage starting with the first selected unit. And it's not a spell. Alright, I have 2 more movements to do. So 1, auto resolve this fight immediately, getting 5 more gold production and 5 more gold. So this is why I was taking it as an investment. And last step is to reveal this. Yeah, it will show an obelisk. And I will do it like this. So I can claim that mine instantly. And that will be the end of our turn 6, I think. I will not build anything. And I will not be able to hire anything because I already did that with the genies. So let's move to round 7. That's a resource round. Now we have 3 expert to use and 6 cards to draw. I don't want to discard any of my cards. Wisdom is great. I can get 1 valuable, 2 building materials. So I have 4 now and 25 gold. 25. can hire, I can build, I can search for spells if I want to. And I forgot to add the genies there because they are also back units. Okay, so these obelisks will trigger story events and we'll need to do some fights. But before that, let's see what can I do with my secondary hero. I want to collect more valuables, so this is a free step. And then let's see the witch hunt, which also triggers a story event. Yeah, I only need to read this if I visited with Solmyr, which I didn't. So if I'm not, then it's not triggering anything. And then second step, going to claim something from the resource. Sorry, from the treasure die. Experience, which I can't get. Okay. And last step is claiming the valuable. Oops. From the windmill. Come on. Okay. So that was the secondary hero. So now Solmyr gets a free step here. Plus the positive morale. Then visiting the Mercury mine, getting one more production of valuable. We can auto-resolve this because it's a level 5 fight, but we are level 6. And now we are going to enter the obelisk field. Obelisk one, any of the two, the one you visit first. Read this when you are visiting the first obelisk with Solmyr, the mighty royal. Solmyr touched the obelisk with his hand and sensed the ancient history of blood, pain, and glory. The weapon master took a curious glance on him, but waited respectfully. If only these stones could speak. Yes, your grace, agreed the weapon master respectfully. Solmyr decided to get to the point. I was told you have one of the keys to the underground tunnels. Indeed, I have. Solmyr sensed something strange in the weapon master's voice. Then hand it over to me. I need to visit the dungeon warlords. With all due respect, my king, I may not until you pass the test. Solmyr rolled his eyes. Another lecture that will stall him? What test? These underground tunnels are dark and treacherous. You might not be able to rely on your magic abilities. This key is guarded by me, so I can assure whoever goes down is a master of might as well. All of this annoyed Solmyr. I'm your king. Still, your grace, you need to pass the test. Fight against the weapon master's army. Temporarily remove any spell cards or spell ability statistics card and abilities from your hand, deck, or discard pile. Draw up to your card limit. Face the test. Okay, so basically all of these cards are getting removed. Also, not the angel wing. Yep. Let's see. Firebolt, chain lightning. That's not. Okay, so it's not a big question what will be in my hand. Only offense will be useful. And then impossible, pack of harpies, pack of minotaurs, pack of manticores will be the enemy. You don't need to spend any movement points to extend the battle. Okay, so the first time we are encountering dungeon enemies, pack of harpies, pack of minotaurs, pack of manticores. That's a gold unit. Wow. Without our spells. And we don't have gold units. We don't have gold dwelling, but we may be able to buy. Yeah, we need to. Otherwise, this could be a problem. So gold dwelling, and we can't buy it. I always forget because we don't have the needed building materials. Okay. We are going to have a problem. We have positive morale, but we can't use it just to reroll a die. Because there is nothing in our deck. All of these cards are spell related. This will be tricky. I can reinforce Magi, so let's do that at least. It's 11 gold. Earth, this is also gone. No range unit. Some manticores, harpies, and minotaurs. We are going to be challenged. Manticores are the fastest ones to activate, and they are gold units. They can't attack a gold enemy. They will prefer the genies. Those are silver at least. 1, 2, 3. And they have 5 attack. For the attack, ignore the defense value from the target unit's card. Okay, let's take the morale into our hand, because if it's a +1, we'll definitely need to reroll this. Morale. Please, not a +1 again. Okay, -1. So 4 damage goes in, and genies will retaliate. Two damage. Now come the gargoyles. Try to turn down the harpies. Yes, I'm not boosting it with the attack. I will try to use it against the manticores. I try to attack the harpies. 3 + 1, 4. So harpies are turned down. 1 damage goes in. And they will retaliate with 2 attack. Oops, 2 attack. +0 against 1 defense. That's 1 damage. Let's see, minotaurs are 8. Genies are 8. So genies must move away from the range of the minotaurs, otherwise minotaurs would wipe them out. So 1, 2, and now we can safely attack the harpies. No retaliation will occur. Yes, 4 + 0, 4. That's enough to wipe out the harpies before they activate. Now, I forgot about this. I shouldn't have attacked. I should have just stayed there, because now minotaurs have a safe way for genies. Such a silly mistake. Minotaurs attack genies. If you resolve a -1 on the attack die, draw a card. That's not applicable for them. 4 versus 1. 3 goes in. 2 is enough to turn this down. And 1 goes in to the fuse side. Okay. I have few genies once more. And now we have the Magi activate. Ignore combat penalties. Add +1 spell power to the first spell you cast this round, which I can't. But what I can boost this with expert 2 more offense, so 6 offense, shooting on the manticores, 5, 1 defense, so 4 damage goes in. Manticores are now also on their few side. They're still lethal, but not as bad as before, probably. Okay. Do I want to engage the manticores with iron golems? Let's shoot the manticores with the gremlins first. 2 plus 0 versus 1. That's 1 damage. I can't wipe them out. If they retaliate with a 0, they can flip down the iron golems. Otherwise, not otherwise, but yeah, there is a chance they would do the same with the genies. But maybe with iron golems, gargoyles, and genies, we could wipe them out before they activate. So let's try that. Manticores have 2, minotaurs have 2 defense, so that's also a problem. But let's try to get out the manticores before they activate. So that's 1 damage only, not what I wanted to see, and manticores now retaliate. That's enough to turn the iron golems, because 5 plus 0 versus 2 defense, but no hit point damage goes in. So iron golems are on their few side now, and all of our units have activated. So new round begins. Gargoyles are the fastest unit, so they try to draw out the retaliation of the manticores. I can't wipe them out. They could have if I'm not rolled a -1, but it is what it is. Once again a -1. It's just killing me. Manticores, it's also a -1. So 1 damage on the other side of the gargoyles going. Okay. Minotaurs are attacking genies. 5 versus 1, 4 damage goes in. Genies retaliate. No damage goes in. Genies come next. Attacking the minotaurs, sorry, the manticores. 3 versus 1. That's still not enough. So manticores will activate. We are in serious trouble because manticores are going to wipe out genies. Yep, 4 versus 1, that's more than enough to defeat genies. Let's see, we have Magi and Iron Golem. Magi are going to shoot on the Minotaurs. 4 versus 2, 2 damage goes in. Iron Golems are going to attack the Manticores. That's still enough. 3 -1, 2 versus 1, still enough to defeat the Manticores. Yep, and Minotaurs can reach Magi's, that's the problem. And there is nothing I can do about that. Gremlins are going to shoot on the Minotaurs. I can only have 1 movement with Gremlins, so I couldn't come here, unfortunately. Let's try to shoot on the Minotaurs. That's 0, no damage. New round begins. Minotaurs are first to act. Go for the only silver unit left. That's why it was a problem that Manticores could wipe out genies. 6. 5 is enough to flip Magi down. 1 damage goes in. Magi retaliate. No combat penalties, at least. 3 damage on the Minotaur side. Okay. With the gargoyles, we draw out their retaliation. Yeah, no damage. Because 2 plus 0 is 2 and they have 2 defense. Minotaurs retaliate 4. That's enough. Because 3 more damage goes in against gargoyles 1 defense. So gargoyles are defeated. But now no more retaliation. So iron golems will try to flip them down. Okay, we really need and not a -1. It's a -1. That's pretty much settles it. And now gremlins are going to shoot on it. We need a +1 now. It's a 0. Sorry, I forgot about Magi. Magi can attack them. Anyway, yeah, let's do it. Golems should have been activated as last, but no problem. So Magi try to take care of them. Okay, that's 1. 3 plus 0 is 3 versus 2 defense. 1 goes in, so finally Minotaurs are flipped down. They still have 2 defense though, and I forgot about that. Okay. And they are still the fastest units on the field. So Minotaurs are going to attack the Magi. Ooh, that's just 3 damage. Magi survive and then they can retaliate. That's 1 damage going in to the Minotaurs. Now gremlins shooting at it. No damage going in. Magi activate. Please a +1. +1 is what we need. +1. Okay. So 4 versus 2. 2 damage goes in. Minotaurs retaliate. Yeah, they wipe out the Magi. And now it all comes down basically to the iron golem. So if the iron golems can roll a 0 or a +1, we deal with the Minotaurs. If it's not, if it's a -1, the Minotaurs will attack in the next turn the iron golems, and gremlins need to roll a +1. Yeah. So please, not a -1. 0. Let's have a 0. It's a 0. Okay, 3 plus 0 is 3 versus 2 defense. The 4th damage goes in, and the Minotaurs have been dealt with. Oh my god, this was very, very tough. And not many of our units left alive. I need to drink. I need to celebrate and feast. Okay. Okay, almost lost that, but... Alright. If you win, gain experience as if you fought against a level 5 enemy. Okay, no experience then. Search the artifact deck for free. Ribcage or Sword of Judgment. Ribcage, select one spell card from your discard pile and put it back into your hand. Then shuffle your discard pile back into your deck of Might and Magic. Or Sword of Judgment, discard X cards from hand to gain X attack. Discard X cards from hand to gain X defense. That's a great card, but Ribcage is better. In your face, Weapon Master, we are going to build our Might deck even further. Alright, read the following section. Very good, Your Grace. The weapon master seemed to be amazed. Well, I understand why. It was all true. I heard about your family's mighty skills. Solmyr was becoming more and more impatient. I appreciate the sentiment, but I need that key. At once, my king. The weapon master handed over a medium-sized golden key with a small red ruby in its handle. Finally, we are making some progress, Solmyr thought with huge satisfaction. If you lose, you lose the scenario. Well, that was very close, but we didn't. Okay, anything else we get from this? No. Okay, we can flag the obelisk. And yeah, we need to shuffle our deck. Okay, so one movement point spent to come here. Now we can roll 2 treasure dice. Let's take the artifact, Sword of Judgment. Next step is Witch Hunt. Let's see what it is offered to us. Archery. During this combat round, your range units gain +1 attack if the target is a non-adjacent unit. Yeah, we have 2. We will have 2 range units once I purchase back the Magi. And then last step is to trade. I want to trade because this building material situation is very, very bad. So let's see the exchange rates. So I want, for 2 gold, I can buy 1 building material and 2 building material for 1 valuable. So I certainly want to do this. Is 2. We need 5 more. So 6. Yeah, 6 gold and 1 valuable for 5 building material. So now we have 9 and 4 valuables. 10 gold, 4 valuables, 9 building materials. So finally we have the gold dwelling, which is Golden Temple. And I have 12 gold left. I can't hire any units right now. Let's use the endless purse of gold. Remove this card and discard 2 cards from your hand, which will be Swords of Judgment and Archery, to get 8 gold. 8 gold. So now this is removed. Come on. Now this is removed from the game. And chosen hero gains +1 movement point. That will be Solmyr. And I will spend it to reveal let's reveal this one first. Yeah, that's the heal fort. Also the stable. Not really. Heal fort is, we can reveal the obelisk without the heal fort, so I'm not really worried about that. Is there any spell here? No, so I can't use this. Okay, that was a long round, but it's ending. Let's go to 8. Astrologers round, they proclaim Israel's friends. Each player can immediately reinforce a unit on the fuse side at half the cost. Let's do that for 4 golds. The iron golems. It would be 7, but now it's 4. And now I can use the model. Very good golems. I need to award the bonus to Magi and golems because without them this fight would be lost. Yeah. Okay, 4 movement points on Solmyr and 3 movement points on the secondary hero, free expert. Let's draw up to our hand limit. Actually, let's shuffle this. I mean, this can be dead, but I want to make sure I've shuffled this. I'm not sure I did. So 4 more cards. Offense, Magic Arrow, Spell Power, Air Magic. Let's play Air Magic as a permanent card there. I can buy and I can hire, but I will definitely need gold. Secondary hero is here. Can claim the windmill. So 1, 2, 3. That seems to be the only option it can do. They can do. So 1 more valuable. These were put to the wrong section. Discard up to 3 cards from your Might and Magic deck and return 1 card from the hand. So let's see this. 1, 2, 3. Lightning Bolt is good. Okay, I can play that without any combat. So this is a free step for Solmyr. Then for 1 movement point, I will reveal this tile. Okay, I have 3 more movement points to do. I don't want to be level 7, sorry. This is better. I need to pay 10 gold or 3 valuables and I can't afford it right now. But I will have another valuable and another production there, which is very good. Once again, this was an investment and I'm glad I did it. And now, yeah, this obelisk will trigger another fight, this time without might cards, which is definitely an easier fight. But I need army. So I need to postpone that combat, I think, until I can reinforce my army. So I'm not going to use this Tree of Knowledge, but I'm going to auto-resolve the Pandora box. And I'm going to go with 2 resource dice. 2 valuables is good. And that is going to be, okay, I already flagged it. That is going to be the end of my turn. Let's pretend I don't know what's coming in the obelisk. I'm not going to discard any of my cards. If I was a bit smarter, I would have throw away lightning bolt so I can take care of it and put it back to my hand with ribcage, but I cannot do that now. So let's go to round 9 and I'm not going to remove any of my cards, get back my movement points. Expert is still free. I can draw 1 more card, which is a knowledge, great. And then I can get 25 gold. I produce 2 building material and 3 valuables. And let's see those gold units. So 50 gold would be needed for Titans if I want to upgrade them. That's not an option. 31 gold is for the upgraded Naga. But maybe Titans and Nagas on their fuse side, 31 and 1 valuable. We have exactly 31 gold. So 2 gold units plus gremlins and golems. Can I collect any more gold from anywhere? No, but I can collect, I can actually collect some here. And I can trade. Yes. Okay, we'll need to trade. but it's fine. So secondary hero goes here, here. Let's roll a resource. Die, 2 valuables, fine. And then let's trade. It's the last step. So maximum I would need 4 more valuables, and I have 9. So 5 valuables I can actually trade for 3 gold each. So 5 is 15 gold. I don't need that 15 gold. So now I have 15, 27, 30, 46. Okay, so this would be 49. Yeah, 31. Let's spend 31 on the few sides and 1 valuable. And then I have 15 gold left. This is 13, like this. Yeah. I will take care of it, but 13 needs to be spent. 13. 13. Nice. Okay, now I think we are strong enough to actually pay a visit. So golems can come here. Yes, let's do it like this. So 1 movement point spent here to visit the second obelisk. Let's read it. Read this when you are visiting the second obelisk with Solmyr, realm of magic. Solmyr noticed the Magi leader of the obelisk when he approached the ancient stone. The weapon master did not hand over the first key without a challenge, and Solmyr did not expect anything less from the Magi, as he was the guardian of the second key. "Come closer, your grace. I was expecting you," said the Magi, showing the second key in his hands. It looked almost the same as the first key, but it had a green sapphire in the handle instead of a ruby. "I need to face another challenge, don't I?" asked the king quietly. "Of course, your grace. You need to demonstrate your mastery in magic. Would be reckless to allow anyone in the tunnels who are not ready. Even if I command you to skip the tests? I am following a rule more ancient than any living creature in this realm, far older than you are, my king, or your family." Solmyr was annoyed once again by the insolence of the Magi, but knew the old wizard was only following the rules. "I believe I need to face this challenge without my mighty accessories, don't I?" A small smile appeared on the Magi's face. "You are of course right, my king. Fight against the Magi's army. Temporarily remove any might-related artifact cards or statistic cards or abilities from your hand, deck, or discard pile. Draw up to your card limit. Face the test. Impossible pack of troglodytes, pack of minotaurs, pack of manticores." Okay, so offense is removed. And then, let's see, the angel wing, the archery. Yeah, these are might related. These are magic related. Okay, so I can draw 1 more card to have 6. Not have genies. Okay, let's see. This one will be easier because of 2 things: my cards and my units. But we'll see once again. Minotaurs, manticores, and troglodytes. Troglodytes are new, by the way, but manticores and minotaurs, we know them. We know them all too well. Troglodytes, manticores, minotaurs. Manticores are still faster, I believe, than any of our units. Yeah, it's 11. So manticores will activate first. And there is no instant card I can use right now. They are gold units, so they will go against Titans, which are the closest. And they will ignore Titan's defense for this attack. 4 damage goes in. And now Titans can retaliate. 6 versus 1 defense, 5 damage. Now Gargoyles are the next unit to activate, and we can cast spells. Lightning Bolt makes sense, and I would like to turn down and take care of Minotaurs as quick as possible. So 1 expert will be used on... No, I will use a magic arrow and... Yes, a magic arrow and a spell power to boost 4 damage to spell power, which means 4 damage on the lightning bolt, and I use an expert on the knowledge so I can take back the lightning bolt to my hand. 4 damage I would like to put on the Minotaurs. They will be flipped immediately down, so they will be slower. And I can cast another spell, so I'm going to use... Magic Arrow and Lightning Bolt. 3 damage goes to the Minotaurs. And with Ribcage, I can select a spell from your discard pile and put it back into your hand, and shuffle your discard pile and your Might and Magic deck. Okay, so Lightning Bolt is in my hand, but I can't cast it in this round. Okay, so Gargoyles now go and attack the Troglodytes. 1 defense on the Troglodytes side and 3 attack on the Gargoyles. 2 attack, 1 damage goes in. Troglodytes get to retaliate with 3 attack. It's a +1, so 4 versus 1. Gargoyles are actually flipping down. Wow, that went awfully wrong. Nevertheless, now Titans get to activate. 1, 2. They are attacking the Manticores. Yes. So 6 attack, 7 attack, 1 defense, 6 damage goes in. 1 is enough to turn them down, 5 is going on the other side. Manticores get to retaliate with 5 attack, but they can no longer disregard the defense. So 5 damage all in all in the Titans, because 4 versus 3, 1 more damage. 4 was originally on the Titans, now it's 5. Okay. Next unit to activate is Nagas. 1, 2, 3. Going to wipe out the Minotaurs before they activate. 5 minus 1, 4 versus 2. 3 damage goes in, that's enough to wipe out the Minotaurs. So Troglodytes are 5, Magi 5, Golems 5, Gremlins 5. Magi are going to shoot on the Troglodytes. 3, 2, 1 damage goes in versus the 1 defense. Trogs are still alive, but now on their few sides, so they are slower. Gremlins will shoot on the Manticores. They cannot wipe out, no damage dealt. Iron Golems will try to do the job. And as a matter of fact, no matter what they roll, they will defeat Manticores. 3 minus 1, 2, 1 defense, 1 damage goes in, the missing 1 damage wipes out the Manticores. And now Troglodytes activate. They are prioritizing bronze units, which is Gargoyles. 2 plus 1, 3. 2 damage goes in, Gargoyles get to retaliate. 2 versus 1 defense. Troglodytes still survive, very massive units in this game. And now another round starts, which will be started by Titans or Nagas, whichever we prefer. Let's go with Titans. We don't need to spend movement point to extend this fight. And 7 versus 1, 6 damage goes in. Titans wipe them out. Okay, significantly easier fight. And we lost only the gargoyles flip down to their few side. Okay, let's read. If you win, hard impossible gain experience if you fought against a level 5 enemy. It's not impacting us. Search to the spell deck for free. Remove obstacle or fortune. Remove obstacle is not really what you can use. We don't want to remove anything. Reroll 1 treasure, resource, or attack die. Resolve the results of your choice once, twice, 3 times. Okay, not the best card, but it is also spell power. Read the following section. You are ready to enter the tunnels, my king, like many of your ancestors before you. The Magi handed over the key to Solmyr. The king now had everything he needed to pay Synce a stealthy visit, without allowing the Warlord to prepare for this arrival. Thank you, Magi. The old wizard raised his bony pointing finger. I must warn you, my king, the tunnels are treacherous. When you visit the observatory tower, it will reveal your path. But after that, no one else can enter the tunnels, not until you return at least. And you cannot return until you face Synce. Rotate the F5 tile so you can access it now. Only those can access the F5 tile who has at least one key. If Josephine and Solmyr both possesses one key each, they both must be on F5 tile before the observatory tower can be visited on it. Once you visit the observatory tower in the center of the tile, it will rotate back to its original position and the F5 field will prevent you from returning to your own land. Any heroes left behind may not cross to the F5 field after the rotation. Rotate the N5 tile to be able to enter the tile from F5. If you lose, the scenario is over. I mean, that for this challenge. So this one can be rotated now. It's accessible and we have 3 more movement points to spend. No matter how we go, it's 1, 2, 3. And I think that ends our turn. There's nothing else I think we can do. Just thinking, but yeah, let's move to turn 10, which is a astrologers round. Terrible plague. All players flip one of their units from the back to the few side if possible. Okay, that must be gremlins, because that only costs 2 gold. Let's replenish expert and movement points. And let's shuffle this. I'm going to discard Fortune. It's a spell power, but there are better cards to draw. Like Sword of Judgment. 5, 6. Okay. So when I enter, there is nothing else I can do with the secondary hero, just collecting things here. So the question is, do I want to resolve the heal fort? Actually, it would be handy. We have a lot of U units, but we don't have much gold. Instead of that, 1 step for the secondary hero to claim this. This is a building material mine, an ore pit more specifically. So 2 building materials are immediately generated. That's a free movement. This windmill can be claimed as well. and then we will decide where to go from here. Solmyr, 1 step, 2 steps. And that's a half level experience. And it's time for us to enter. I mean, we can theoretically claim some gold if we want to. But this triggers the effect anyway, so let's just do that. Okay, so let's read. Read the relevant section from below when you visit the observatory tower on F5 tile. Read this if both Solmyr and Josephine are present, which is not applicable. Yeah, we need to go to a different path. Only Josephine. And read this if only Solmyr is on the F5 tile and Josephine is active. Okay, that's still not the one we need. Actually, there is nothing else. Read this if only Solmyr is on the F5 tile and Josephine is not active. Okay. The futureless king. Solmyr placed the 2 beautiful keys into their keyholes and the tunnel's entrance suddenly opened up. Walls and rocks collapsed behind the king, closing the path leading back to home. I cannot go back without dealing with Synce anyway, Solmyr stated calmly. He sensed anger and frustration when he thought about the treason of the Warlords. The peace they made many years ago sealed prosperity for both HighTower and Cold Shadow for decades. At least that was how Solmyr saw it. Synce still must have her own reasons. I do not care about her reasons, Solmyr reminded himself. These dungeon warlords only learn from power, crush them without mercy, and they retreat to their caves for another decade. You think I did not know you were coming? A female voice sounded harshly in Solmyr's head. Solmyr quickly looked around. There was no one else in the tunnels. Synce started to laugh. Her laugh oppressed everything else in Solmyr's mind. You will not see me here. You will not touch me here, Solmyr. But you will hear me. Reveal yourself and surrender to your true king, Solmyr shouted by touching his head from both sides. These are my tunnels. You have no power here. Synce's voice was ice cold, cruel, ambitious, reminded Solmyr to his own mother's voice. When I reach the surface, I will crush you. Maybe, Synce tentatively agreed. And then what? You have no future. You have no heir to the throne. Your children are dead. Your kingdom is dead. Only a matter of time and it will fall apart. Solmyr did not say a word to answer. Deep down he knew Synce was right. The future of the realm was not secured. But nevertheless, he will protect it as long as he can breathe. Rotate the N5 tile to provide access for Solmyr to enter. Read the next section when you visit the obelisk of the M5 tile. Okay, so that's the M5 tile. And let's get a spell when we go. And we have 1 more movement point left. So let's spend it on this mine, which is 5 more gold and 30 gold production. And we need to flag it. Now we need to spend 1 more movement point, which will be the heal fort. So let's read the heal fort. So this was the futureless king, just not to forget. Switch hot. Resolving. If you visit this field without having any settlement, resolve this field. Normally, if you visit this field with having a settlement, if you selected a peaceful resolution against Lord Huron after resolving the battle against the neutral units, you may reinforce one of your bronze or silver units for free. If you attack Lord Huron's army after resolving the battle against the neutral units, you must downgrade one of your units from pack to few. Wow. Okay. Well, we lost our last packed unit as well. So all of our units are now on few. This is not how I wanted to. Okay, I forgot that this was a thing. But anyway. So we have finished our turn now. And let's move to the 11th round. I'm going to discard Earth Magic. Let's regenerate movement points. We produce 30 gold. And 4 building material. And 3 valuables. Okay, we can hire, build, and search spell as much as we like. Until we have money. Let's see what I can do with the secondary here. I could collect positive morale and trade. I forgot to mark this, but we already resolved that. So positive morale and trade. And some witch hunt top there. I think positive morale and trade would be the best. Maybe taking back a spell to our hand like fortune. But I have enough movement point to go there. 1, 2. Yes. Then I need to trade first. Okay, so Titans would require 32 gold and 2 building material, 2 valuable. Which means we have 4 valuables we can spend. Trade to gold. And 8 building materials. Which we don't need. I don't want to build anything in my town anymore. So let's trade 8 building materials for 8 gold and actually 5. Yeah, I can. 5 for 15 gold. 5 valuable. So 8 for 8 and 5 for 15, so that's 23. Trading is done. Positive morale. And taking back the fortune from this. Is the end of the secondary hero's turn. Solmyr spends 1 here. Now we can search the spell deck. Let's choose Fireball. And before we visit the obelisk, we can collect even more gold. Push us to 35. 5 more gold. I don't want the 2 negative morale things, so let's reinforce our units. 32 and 2 on the Titans. That gives us 33 gold left. Nagas cannot be done because I traded that as well. Maybe that was foolish. But all the other 13, 20, 24. Yeah. Other than that, we can reinforce everything but Nagas. Yeah, let's do that. So 32 and 2 valuables spent on the Titans, so I get to have them as a figure. And then 2, 13, 17, 24. 24. Or actually 22. I think let's have 22, sorry. And then instead of reinforcing the gremlins, let's buy few genies for 8. Yep. So we have the gargoyles, we have golems, we have magi. Switch this. Titans are now range units, right? So let's make a little change. And then let's visit the obelisk. We have hired everything that we had gold for. We don't have the wisdom, because had we had the wisdom we could do the search but for spells, but we can't. Yes, and this was the futureless king. Final confrontation. I'm waiting for you at my castle. Synce's voice was loud and clear in Solmyr's head. You are weak, old, and broken. You will have no chance to defeat me. You are mistaken, Solmyr claimed confidently. You will soon see how bad. Rotate the S2 dungeon tile to be accessible for Solmyr. Defeat Synce at the town. Solmyr can use his might and magic deck, Synce's army and deck, and yeah, it will be relevant for the next turn. So this is rotated, and we have one more. Yeah, I'm not going to do that one final step right now, because that would mean I would need to lose my entire hand. But we are going to stop here, move to the next turn, which is an astrologer's round. Each player must immediately discard all cards from their hand and draw the same number of cards. Oh, the irony. Okay, so this 1, 2, 4, 8 cards. I would have needed to discard 2 of them anyway, but now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to keep archery now for sure. Is there anything my secondary hero can do? Forget to assign the positive morale to ourselves. That is important because of what's going to happen with the artifacts now. And nothing I can do. So we need to discard 2 cards. I don't need free knowledge, so 1 is definitely, and I don't need the angel wing could draw me a card. Is there any spell card here? Yes. Okay, so ribcage is useful. Okay, angel wings. So these are the 6 cards I can keep. Okay, so 1 step, F4. So 1 step collecting 3 gold. Maybe it will be useful. Actually, it's useful now, because now I have 5. So for 5 I can do the Mage Guild, to search the Mage Guild. I don't have the wisdom, but still I can do. So it's one more spell. Weakness or haste. go with haste. Maybe it will be needed. Next is the artifact. I can do it twice. Take the Orb of Vulnerability for black dragons, and I don't have gold, so I don't want to recruit neutral units. In this combat, neither player can use the positive moral token or reroll attack dice, or one spell power. Yeah, this goes to minus morale, and last two steps is triggering the combat. Okay, the ultimate fight. Something like this. No changes anymore. So let's see. Impossible. Pack of Harpies, pack of Evil Eyes, pack of Minotaurs, pack of Manticores, pack of Black Dragons. We are behind. And why do we have 6 units? Sorry, we should have 5. Oh, made a mistake there. Maybe I made a mistake for the practice fight, but doesn't change much things. Yeah. So which one do I want to remove? It's either the gargoyles or the golems. That's 2 golems. They are bulky, but not really fast. Okay, I should have only 5 units. Okay, actually I have them, I just don't use them. Okay, so pack of Harpies, pack of Evil Eyes, pack of Manticores, pack of Minotaurs, and pack of Black Dragons. No Medusas. Okay, and they will have AI cards as well. Black Dragons, Harpies, Manticores, and Evil Eyes. Black Dragon, Manticores, Harpies, Evil Eyes, Minotaurs. And they have 4 Might AI card and 3 Magic AI card. So it's just I run out of energy for the phone. So yeah, attack, attack, defense, defense, and cast a spell 3 times. Okay. And I have 1 magic arrow, 1 blind, and 1 cure. Magic arrow. Curse, that's curse, cure. Cure. Where is blind? Blind. Okay. The ultimate fight. So first of all, black dragons activate. Do I have any instant? No. Ignore any spell effect and damage from specialty. They have cast a spell, magic arrow on the highest defense with 3 spell power, so that must be the Titans. And they go against the gold units, so they're going to shoot at the Nagas with 8 attack. Nothing I can do right now. 7 attack, 2 defense, 5 damage. Nagas retaliate. That's 5 versus 3, 2 damage goes in. Okay. Titans are the fastest. After that, with Manticores, but Titans come first. Actually, sorry. We also have the Arrow Tower. Okay, but then and they need to skip their turn, basically, because they can go here, but they can't go here. Okay, so these are back. So black dragons are just standing there. They cannot attack. There is no way they can attack to our... Yeah. So now Titans. Ignore any ongoing effects on this unit and combat penalties against adjacent units. Okay, I can cast spells. First of all, Orb of Vulnerability. I can only have 1 ongoing, so let's have Archery on expert level. Until the end of the next combat round, all of your range units gain +1 initiative and +1 attack. Okay, so let's use that. What about spells? I can use Chain Lightning. How to do this? I can't damage the black dragon. So 2, 1, 0 basically is what we can do. This is not a spell. And let's do Fireball. This can go in with 2 spell power, 4 with this, and I will use Expert on Knowledge. So 4 spell power means 3 to 2 adjacent spaces, so 3 here, 5 and 4. That's enough to turn it down. So Harpies now on the few side. 1 damage. Okay, and this goes back to my hand. And I will use Ribcage to take back haste into my hand and reshuffle the deck. Okay, so now Titans can shoot with 7, and they are going to shoot on the Manticores. 7 versus 1, that's 6 damage. 1 is enough to turn them down, and 5 more goes in. Okay. Next unit is Gargoyles. Gargoyle is going to defend. Next unit is Minotaurs. They stuck in there, so they're also going to defend. Next unit is Genies. So Genies will discard 3 cards from your deck and take a spell to your hand. I use Magic Arrow. I have 1 more spell to cast, but first Minotaurs activated, and they have +2 defense once they will fight. Now Manticores activate. They cast a spell which is Blind. Place paralyzed token on the selected gold unit. That will be the Titans, unfortunately. And now Manticores 1, 2, 3 can actually attack the Genies. 5, 6, 5 damage goes in versus 1 defense. Genies will retaliate. 4, that's enough to wipe out the Manticores. Okay, took care of the Manticores. Next unit to activate, we have Harpies with 6, Evil Eyes with 7. So Evil Eyes are the next one. They are ranged, so they are shooting on the Magi. Ignore the combat penalty against adjacent units, but this is not adjacent. Let's see what will be the AI card. Another cost. That will be Cure on the Harpies. Yeah, that's the only one they can cure. It's a -1. 3 minus 1 is 2. Magi have 1 defense, so that's 1 damage going in. Now Nagas, they are going to spend 1. No, they're not going to do anything, just defend, because now dragons cannot attack them. Harpies activate with 4 attack. 1, 2, they go against the Gargoyles. 4 versus 3. Let's see if Gargoyles roll a +1, that's an extra defense, but no. So 3 damage goes in. Gargoyles are now flipped on the other side. And +1 is going back, -1 remaining, so it's going back for the Harpies. No retaliation. Or actually, sorry, they are on the other side, so there is a retaliation from the Gargoyles, sorry. That's 2 damage goes in. Yeah, because Harpies are now on their view side. And all of the enemy units have been activated now. Magi activates, shooting on whichever I prefer. Let's shoot on the Minotaurs. That's 5. Minotaurs have defense. Yeah, 3 defense, so 2 damage goes in. Actually, they have this defense, so no damage goes in. My mistake. Yeah, that was an AI card. And I think Gargoyles are the only one. Oh, they have already activated because they were in defense mode. So that's the end of the first round. But Arrow Tower with 9, I forgot. So Arrow Tower prefers on Magi. 4 versus 1 defense. That's enough for the Magi to turn down to the few side. Okay. First round ends. Now second round comes. Black dragons will be the fastest. An AI card, extra defense for them. They can still can't attack anything, so they are just staying there. Titans skipping their activation. Next one to activate is Minotaurs. Last AI card is drawn with 7 attack. They are going to stay there for now. Next one to activate is Genies. We are going to discard 3 more cards, taking back the Magic Arrow into our hand, and cast with Expert Knowledge a Fireball. Or actually, no, sorry. A Magic Arrow, boosted by Air Magic. So that's with another Magic Arrow. I can take this back to my hand. 3 damage going into the Minotaurs. Okay, and then I will cast another spell. Basically a Fireball with 2 damage. So Minotaurs are now flipped down on their fuse side. 1 damage, and Harpies are wiped out. And I can't cast any spell. Next fastest unit is Evil Eye. They will shoot on the Magi. 2 damage goes in. No more AI cards. Now we have Naga 6, Gargoyle 7. Naga still remain defensive. And Gargoyles also stay defensive. Arrow Towers shoots on the Magi, because I forgot once again. 4, yeah, that's enough to wipe out the Magi. They cannot shoot. And another round is done. No, sorry, Minotaurs can come. 1, 2, 3. They are going against the Genies with 6 attack. 5 attack. That's enough to wipe out the Genies. No more AI cards, just the one for the defense on the Black Dragon. The archery card is expired. And now Black Dragons activate. And they are going to go on, well, +1 Nagas, -1 Titans. They are going for the Titans. Okay. They also have this defense, not to forget. So they have 8 attack. 8 versus 3, that's 5 damage. Titans are turning down. Titans retaliate. No combat penalty. 7 versus 5 defense, 2 damage goes in to the Black Dragons. Yep. Now Titans activate. They are attacking the dragons. 6 versus 3. 3 more damage goes in. Black Dragons retaliate. 7 versus 3. That's 4 damage going in. Next one to activate is Evil Eye. They are going to shoot on Gargoyles. That's 0. 3 plus 0. Gargoyles have defense token. 2 damage goes in. Now Naga is going to activate attack the dragon. No retaliation, but that's not anyway. 2 Oops. 2 more damage going in for the black dragons. Next one is Minotaur. To activate, they attack the gargoyles because they cannot attack anything else. 3. Yeah, that's enough to wipe out the gargoyles. I think we are in a very bad situation right now. And now every unit has activated. Black dragon come again. They attack the titans. 8 versus 3. 5 is enough to wipe out the titans. And I think it's time for us to surrender because we cannot deal with this. So yeah, we lost, unfortunately. The rebellion is now successful. Synce managed to defeat Solmyr. And then it says, if Solmyr loses, the scenario is over. So unfortunately, our attempt has failed. We would have needed more upgraded units, but it was very close, or at least somewhat close. Maybe next time we will be in much better situation. Next time we'll try to activate Josephine, and then maybe the combined power of Solmyr and Josephine will do the trick. Thank you very much for joining, and see you next time.